Howdy y'all, welcome to Unicycling 101. I'm Sean Darty and I'm your professor. And I believe with the proper instruction, plenty of practice, anyone can learn how to unicycle. So that's what I'm going to give you right now. We're going to learn how to ride a unicycle. Alright y'all, first things first, getting on the unicycle. So, I see a lot of people try to free mount immediately and start riding. It's not really a good approach to take because how can you expect to get on one if you can't even ride it? So instead what we're going to do is get onto it holding a wall. So as you can see, I got my wall right here, I got my support. It doesn't have to be a wall, I mean it could be a rail, it could be someone's hand, someone's shoulder. I'm going to use a wall, and what you're going to do is first try to get on. So you're going to push down on this back pedal, so just like that, and it'll pop underneath you. You're going to hold on to the wall. Once you get up, it's going to feel a little weird at first. Actually, it's going to feel really weird at first. You're just going to sit here for 5-10 minutes just to get comfortable with the feeling of putting all your weight in the seat, sitting on the unicycle. So all of your weight is going into the seat. None of your weight is going into the seat. So just sit here for 5 or 10 minutes, get comfortable with that idea. All right, so once you've gotten used to the idea of just sitting on your unicycle, putting your weight into the seat, you're going to try to ride assisted. So hold on to whatever your form of support is. I'm using a wall here, and try to ride forward. Again, it's going to feel kind of weird. Make sure you continue to put all your weight into the seat. I cannot emphasize this enough. A lot of people will try to kind of stand up when they're riding like that. No, you don't want to do that. All of your weight into the seat. So practice just holding onto the wall. Try to slowly go forward like that, and just get comfortable just riding assisted. Okay, so I moved a little bit just so I can have a little bit more space to show you exactly that's like. So just keep practicing, same thing you've been doing, just holding onto the wall. One thing to keep in mind is that you do not want to use the wall as a crutch, because then you're not learning correct posture. And I mean, you'll still progress if you practice bad form, but it's going to take a lot longer. That's why it took me so long to ride. I relied on the wall way too much. So try to be as upright as possible. So like, don't do this, none of this, no. Like this, completely upright, just barely holding onto the wall, and try to go forward. You may want to experiment with other forms of assistance, such as a rail, like I have right here. What I like about using a rail is that it's easier to maintain proper posture, because if you're using a wall, naturally you may lean a little bit into the wall, but with the rail, you can kind of practice good form, catch yourself. You're gonna be less inclined to do this, right? Because like if you fall the other way, you can just catch yourself. So you may consider trying a rail. That may help you more. Just experiment and see what works best for you. Alright, one last method you may consider trying is the spotting method. This is my favorite, and in my opinion, the most effective method. What you're going to do is ride forward with assistance, holding onto somebody's hand, and you're gradually going to lessen the hand pressure. So essentially the idea is it's going to look something like this. You're gradually lessening the pressure until you're barely holding onto just a finger, and then eventually you'll be able to let go. I like this method because there's really no cheating it. I mean, you could cheat it obviously and lean into your support, but it's going to be a lot easier for you to practice that proper posture. And that's what I like about this method. Just gradually reduce the hand pressure, try to let go, just go for an unassisted run, and just keep breaking your distance record. So, just like this, gradually lessening the hand pressure, holding onto just a finger, and eventually I'm going to let go, just like that. So obviously it is not going to be that easy, and you're still going to have to practice unassisted runs. The point of that exercise is more just to get used to the idea of having less assistance. And what I like about it is that you can start from an assisted run and then just go unassisted, so completely let go. But you are still going to need to try to break your distance record. So grab onto your form of support and just go for it. You might fall off here, and then maybe a few more tries. You'll make it over here. Just keep pushing your distance record. Eventually you'll look like this. That's really all there is to it. I would say practice as much as you can. Consistent practice is better than hard, sporadic practice. Get really good at this. Like I would say, get to where you can ride a full block very comfortably. So once you're very comfortable mounting assisted, riding, you can do turns at least a little bit. Then you can start working on free mounting. Now it's going to be a lot easier if you can idle, although it's really not a prereq. I learned to free mount first. Essentially what you're going to do is put the pedals in a parallel position and pick your foot that you want to push off of. For most people it's their dominant foot. I'm right-footed, but I learned with my left foot first. That's just what I'm more comfortable with. So you're going to put it kind of in this parallel position, and you're not really going to put that much weight on this pedal, but you're just kind of gonna hop up and ride forward. And yes, it's gonna take you a few tries. I actually learned very quick, but I think that's because I got the riding part down solid first. Typically, if you're really struggling with free mounting, it's because you need to work on your riding more. So make sure you get that solid before you try to free mount. As you continue to practice free mounting, eventually it'll look something like this. The dismount, I don't feel like needs a whole lot of explanation. You'll naturally just figure that out as you get better at riding and free mounting. It's easiest to dismount with the unicycle in front of you, like I just did. So let me do that one more time. Just like that. So you step behind the unicycle. You can also dismount in front. I wouldn't really recommend that way. I mean, I guess it might be useful for control. Just do what feels more comfortable. I really feel like it's unnecessary though. All right, now for some troubleshooting tips. Say you've been at this for a while, you don't feel like you're making any progress. Well, let me go over some common mistakes. So again, what a lot of people do is they try to ride like this, standing up. Don't do that. All your weight goes into the seats, remember that. Also, another exercise, if you're just having a really hard time in general, other people have found it useful to practice assisted idling. So idling is where you pedal half a revolution back, half a revolution forward. So you're gonna do that holding onto your support. So just like this. You're putting a little bit of weight into the bottom pedal. Let me turn around. So putting a little bit of weight onto that bottom pedal, but most of your weight is still going into the seat. I did not use this method, but watching other people that have learned, a lot of times people find it helpful. So you might give that a try. I hope those tips were helpful. Remember, you can always go back to your support if you need to, but do not rely too heavily on your support because you will not learn the correct posture. Although honestly, I think if you just keep practicing these distance trials, keep breaking your record, you'll eventually get it solid. Another thing you may try is, if you're still having trouble, is learning to ride backwards simultaneously. So what you're gonna do for that is the exact same process as I described, riding forwards. If that idea scares you, like it did me at first, don't worry about it too much. I'll make another tutorial for that. It's really not necessary. Just work on getting your forward riding solid, and I promise you will get it. A couple more things I forgot to address earlier. Whenever I fall, I will typically catch the unicycle. When you're learning, do not worry about it too much. I would say if you can catch it, do so. But if it hits the ground, don't worry about it. I mean, they come with bumper plates on the sides. They're meant to take numerous falls. Also, the unicycle you're learning on does make a little bit of a difference. I recommend starting out with a cheaper unicycle, but not one that's too cheap to where the seat is going to constantly twist and the cranks are going to fall while you're trying to ride. It's going to make it a lot harder, but I wouldn't go for a really expensive one either. Just go for one that's just cheap enough. Alright y'all, if you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to smash that like button because the algorithm will well, let me not bore you with the algorithm. See, I'm a computer science major, so I like algorithms. Moral of the story is, I will be releasing more tutorials soon, so keep an eye out for those. Best of luck learning to ride, and I'll see you in the next video.